Pardon me. I was just going to say that I've been talking with new people lately on stickam, people that I just recently met through other people I know there. I was quite impressed with the conversation that took place the other night. Somebody asked my opinion on the topic of abortion, and if it's funny to make jokes about it. Apparently this question stemmed from him seeing people doing it on YouTube. I've never heard of anybody making abortion jokes before, and I think it's disgusting that somebody would joke about such a serious topic. My views on how popular abortion has become, I have already made a vlog about. I don't really like talking about abortion because it is such a touchy subject, and people who have opinions about topics like that often get defensive when their opinions are challenged, or if somebody is not of like mind with them. And I think that if you're an intelligent and sensitive human being, it's quite easy to have a conversation with somebody who has the opposite opinion as you. I've talked to many people who are what you would call pro-life, even some people that are like, I guess you would, well, I wouldn't really call them zealots, but people who are very pro-life. There's no reason whatsoever to have an abortion at all, is their opinion, and that they should be illegalized, if that's a word. I don't believe that. That's not my personal opinion. I believe that there's a time and a place for it, and sometimes it's necessary. What I object to is women using it as a form of birth control. They can't be bothered to get condoms or the pill, and they have unprotected sex regardless of knowing what could happen, and then just have an abortion because they don't want to deal with it. That's what I'm against. And I had a really, really good conversation with some people in Battim's room, Battim included. I can't say that I'm surprised that I had a good conversation, because I've had many good conversations about serious topics on stickam before. What else did we talk about? Oh, we also talked about racism. Now, looking at me, I mean, I'm blue-eyed, pale as hell, like, I don't think I could be any whiter. So people assume that I'm white, Caucasian, or whatever. And that's not entirely true, because I'm Métis, which is, Métis is what you would call half native, half French. That's the name for it. So, and I just discovered this a couple of years ago. My parents had never told me. Apparently my great-grandma was Cree from out west in Canada, and she married a Frenchman, and that's where it came from. Now, the topic was racism and reverse racism, and it was just a really good, it wasn't even a debate, it was just people's opinions and whatever. And I was talking about how I grew up on the island, which is a largely native populated island, lots of reservations on it, and there's a lot of under the rug racism. because white and native people have been living together there for so long, it's very hush-hush. Nobody is overtly racist there. But growing up, I got the distinct impression that white people weren't welcome on the res, things like that. And I'm sure that in the majority of the white towns, that native people felt the same way. Now, I grew up there, so like over half of my friends were natives. I'm not what I would call a racist. I grew up around different races. I never, like, my mom grew up in Toronto, so she taught me that, you know, this is what racism is, and you're no different than all these other people just because they look different from you. So I don't really, like, it wasn't an issue for me until I found out I was Métis. And this is the thing. I found out I was Métis, and when I told my native friends about it, it was like, I felt like they thought they were better than me because they were full-blood. Like, I'm not allowed to be proud of my heritage or want to know about my heritage because I look white. And that was disconcerting to me because I had never experienced racism before towards me, or me being racist towards other people. So it was kind of like a, whoa, you know? I think at the time I was naive about racism and assumed that the world was getting better and people weren't. People were getting better. I see that that's not true now, and in my opinion, people have just learned to keep their mouths shut and not be openly racist because it's not politically correct, which I think is a shame. And the first time that I ever felt bad about it was I was talking to a friend who is half Mohawk, half white. So he is a half native. And he's, oops, totally out of frame. And he's very proud of his heritage, and I don't blame him. And when I told him that I found out I was Métis and that I was interested in learning about my heritage and learning, I can't remember the word, but like when you go through your family tree, I wanted to do that and find out what was going on and stuff like that. And he was like, what are you, like 1/8? And I was like, I really don't know the math equation. I know I have native in me, and that's all I really need to know. And I'm interested in the culture. I don't think you have to be native to be interested in other people's cultures. Or you don't have to be of that race or culture to be interested in their culture. So I was a little insulted that my friend, a person that I respect and have a really good repertoire with, would make me feel like that. So that just made me think about race and whatever. So that was two topics that we discussed, race and abortion, that are touchy topics. And yeah, I just thought I'd put that out there. And I wanted to thank Tim and San and Lindsay and Blue Cannon, Lindsay, Battim, and I cannot say her full name. I call her San. If you want to know her name, I will find it and I will put it on the sidebar. I'll find it because she just subscribed to me. Anyways, I just wanted to thank you guys for a really good conversation, and it's refreshing because it doesn't happen a lot unless you're It just doesn't happen a lot. Conversations like that. I mean, I'm used to having goofy, pervy conversations, and I find them funny and whatever, but it is a relief to talk to intellectuals about serious things. And that's all I wanted to say. If anybody has an opinion on the topics, feel free to make a video or leave a comment if you want, if you have an opinion. And that's it. Alright, thank you.